What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Dima, I'm gonna be on the music. We all know about the Tariq Nasheed situation with the African American community. He calls it FBA, which is Foundational Black Americans, and their situation with some of the discrepancies going on in the diaspora community against certain immigrants that have an issue towards the African American community, all right, in a negative way. I've experienced this, so I'm not going to say that it does not exist. Again, I went to Howard University for some time, and I know people that were from, like I said, Trinidad, Tobago, in Nigeria, and their families told them, specifically, like, hey, listen, even though you're on scholarship here, you should never marry or date anybody from their community. So I know there's those problems that happen there. And I think we both get that on either side. All right. There's issues from them towards us, and it could be vice versa. Cool. All right. But let me just say this. There is a video that Tariq Nasheed has posted that is very interesting because it's a freestyle battle. I'm not even going to deal with Tariq Nasheed's response because that one, in my opinion, it's hilarious for real. But Tariq Nasheed is not really the subject of the day. The subject of the day is this Latino man who made a video about Tariq Nasheed. Now, keeping in mind that this whole African American versus the diaspora war has to do with more of the African and the Caribbean community, people who look like us. This gentleman is in a whole nother community and he's weighing in on this. All right. So I'm going to play his style of the freestyle, and then I'm going to come back and then we'll talk about it here.
A real revolutionary, let this be a demonstration. Y'all scared of revolution, so y'all pushing reparations. Fuck the oppressors, man, we gotta take the shit back. Cause no amount of money they give you could bring your folks back. I'm really trying to open your mind, just give me time. If you stop trying to judge me, you see we on the same side. We should be in them pyramids or chilling on the beach, but instead y'all being misled by this lame Tariq. Look, racism and hatred is all he teach. He make money from y'all, and so his life's complete. But where the real leaders at, willing to fight for this shit? If Fred Hampton was alive, he would be liking this shit. I feel like a young lord who fought with the Black Panthers. And once we stand together, the government gotta answer. They gotta keep us separated, keep it on the D-Low. I got love for FBA, sincerely a Latino.
All right, so you heard what he had to say. The thing about the reparations argument for me is very problematic. Number one, anybody who has something to say about African American reparations, if they do or do not deserve it, I honestly feel there are boundaries and limits to conversations. I don't want people talking about reparations who are not an African American community. Me personally, I just don't. Just like when I'm in Africa, there are certain things I see about the political systems in Uganda. There are certain things I see about the political systems in Kenya, in East Africa, in West Africa, all around. I have enough respect for these people to not get involved in what they're going through. Number one, it is not my business. Number two, I need to keep that to myself if I have an opinion. All right. There are certain things in the African community that I can comment on, and there are other things that I cannot. This Latino man who has not experienced African American life, he has not experienced what we go through. He's commenting on y'all pushing reparations because, wait a minute, bro. Like, you can't discount what our people are owed based on what we've been through, nor is it your position. Because if the other way is around, and if we just switch the other way, and I believe he's maybe Dominican, Cuban, or Puerto Rican, how about we come and make a freestyle about what your people are going through? And I get it. He might actually have African American friends. He may mean it from the best perspective of his heart. But the reality is, it's a conversation that you should never be discussing. All right. You don't have a voice in what's going on in the Tariq versus diaspora beef. The way I look at it, and people on both sides, I know people had some concerning things towards me and my opinions about it. But one thing I can say, and I think the whole Pan-African community agrees with this, like, who is this guy? I've watched this video like 8 or 9 times. Like, bro, like, this is something you should be staying out of. Whether you like Tariq or not, it's not the point. The point is, This is not your community. If the diasporan community is going to fight and bicker and argue, if we can't get along, and if some people in the element are going to fight, let them fight amongst themselves, at the least, without you intervening, okay? Because this has nothing to do with you at all. Again, when we try to weigh in on, like, one thing I noticed about other groups, because it's like Fred Hampton, he mentions him. Fred Hampton was pretty big in assisting with Chicano politics in Chicago in the 60s and 70s. It was either around that time. So Fred Hampton had ties to the Chicano community too. They were also experiencing racism. But that doesn't still give us the right to go into the Chicano community and tell them what they need to do here and there, right now as of today. It might have been okay in the 60s, but today, no, the Chicano community, the Latino community is gonna check you. Hey, bro, listen, we ain't the same people. And I'm gonna tell you why we're not the same people, because y'all have shown us that. He says, we're all fighting the same oppressors. Well, if that's the case, why are Hispanics beating up blacks in Southern California? Like his Hispanic community ain't saying that in California. Now, there are cool Hispanic communities also, but when you had that, situation where you had Hispanics going out just killing blacks in the early 2000s, y'all wasn't saying that, okay? When the Chicanos are literally beating African Americans out of neighborhoods they were in, y'all not looking at us like, oh, we're all brown pride. Some may, many don't. And I'm not trying to put all of them in the bunch, but there's evidence of crimes from the Latino community against the black community, all right? So forget y'all oppression, us all united as one. The Latino community is the number one, if I'm not mistaken, the number one minority group in America. The African American group is like number 2. So the Latino community don't even need African Americans at all. All right. Why are you even talking about our issues? And that's what I'm concerned with. Like, you won't even let us talk about yours. If we start telling the Latino people when they have issues and they want rights and they want things, oh yeah, y'all tripping, y'all shouldn't worry about that. Y'all should be worried about the oppressor. They would get us straight real quick. Hey, listen, Mr. Black person, you need to go worry about what's going on in your own community. Stop worrying about what's going on with us here. And that's really what my issue is. My issue on this perspective, and it could be right or wrong, however you want to think about who's right or who wrong is in the whole diaspora and beef. I'm not even dealing with that at all. I'm dealing with the fact is, why do you feel comfortable enough to even be weighing in on this? It's not your business at all. I don't care if you do have some black friends, bro. If you love African Americans, love people enough to stay out of it. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, with this whole FBA diaspora war, one thing I have learned since, giving my little opinion of it, I love our people enough to stay out of it from now. Because what I've noticed is that it doesn't solve anything. What I feel needs to be done is I need to continue to do what I'm doing. And if that changes people's perspective, it's fine. But that's on my perspective. But for real, some people, if you really love us, shut your mouth. Give them the autonomy, the African American community and diaspora, to at least let them fight it out without you getting involved. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.